when a narcissist realizes that you were the real deal all along. Now, isn't that something that many of us may think about and wonder, do they ever think that? Is that ever going to happen? Is it ever going to be a reality? Because of course, narcissists, toxic people, they are known for being negative. They are known for always underestimating people, devaluing them, putting them down, acting like they aren't anything. Even while behind the scenes, they're the one holding the whole thing together all of that time. How crazy is it? But this is it, they underestimate people. They estimate your worth and importance as less than what it really is. And this is how they fail a lot of times. By not estimating your true importance, your true value of who you actually are. And, this isn't just spiritual hocus pocus. This is just your genuine worth, your significance. And they underestimate it all the time in their targets. Often until it's too late, until you can't go back anymore. And yet, they don't want to regret it. They don't want to look back and think that it was something that they did. They don't want to look at it like that. But this is the reality of it, they burn bridges. They ruin valuable connections. Something very significant that they could have had. Or they could have remained on good terms with someone, but they chose to burn that bridge. And it may have triggered resentment, and now it's too late to ever go back. But yeah, the truth is, if we are talking about narcissists, if we are talking about narcissistic personality disorder, or even those who just have high narcissistic traits, they can and do realize that you were the real deal. And that's exactly what they were thinking at the start. You see, you hit a certain threshold where it was enough for them to then idealize you, to view you as perfect, as someone who they have to target, someone who they have to get close to. You hit that threshold in them. You initiated a certain amount of pressure to where it then captured their attention, and they then became fixated on you as though they had to have you. And that doesn't happen with everyone. I mean, yeah, they may see a lot of people, a lot of potential targets, and they may think, it's all right. But it's rarely ever enough where it's like they've got to get it. They've got to have it. They've got to secure that supply. But it was enough with you. You hit that certain threshold in them to where it was enough. It initiated a certain amount of pressure that they couldn't resolve, they couldn't regulate from within, to where they had to go after you. And with a narcissist, this often happens once in a blue moon. But it does happen. And it happened with you. You were that person for them. This is why they couldn't let you go. This is why they held on to you for their lives. Because it meant that much to them. Not love. Not connection. They weren't thinking that way. Although that is what they portrayed. That is what they displayed to you. That is what they wanted to make you believe. But that's not what they were really about. That's just what they used as the bait, the lure. And then after a certain amount of time, they then switch it up on you. And they showed you the real character, the real beast under the mask. And Of course, from that point on, you're really in disbelief that they see any value, any worth or importance in you. But that's just it. Why do they still want to keep you around? Even while they're undermining you, insulting you, sabotaging you. Then what purpose do you serve to them? And of course, that purpose is control. Because you see, what you got to understand, going back to the beginning of the relationship, is that they targeted you out of envy. They desired to possess the qualities and abilities that you have. And it made them feel very insecure. So they had to secure you as a source of supply. They had to keep you on a leash. They had to keep you trapped. And after a certain amount of time, you got too strong. You began to pull away from them. You began to realize that all of your investment, you're getting nothing back in return, other than lies of future faking. But they're not following any of it up with action. You began to realize that, so you withdrew your investment. And that's when they started to feel insecure again. So then they had to keep that control. And they have to keep that control no matter what. No matter what happens, no matter where you go, they will smear you, try to isolate you, everything. Because from the very beginning, when they targeted you out of envy, they abandoned parts of themselves. Now this is quite complicated. And don't quote me on this part, because I'm not the expert on the specifics of the false character. But pretty much what happens is they go through life performing and trying to seduce people, trying to be what other people want to see or what they think they want to see. And they're constantly taking bits and pieces from people. Now let's get into the dynamics of this. How does this happen? How do they take bits and pieces from people? They steal. So they pull people into an illusion by giving them a false character. They make you believe something's going to happen. They give you hope, but you never get anything back in return. But you are investing your energy, your time, attention, emotions into them. So they're getting parts of your character, of your identity, and they're giving you nothing back in return. So it's not a real equal exchange. They are stealing from you. They are becoming you. As Professor Sam Vaknin has mentioned in his videos, the narcissist wants to become you. And they've become many people before you. Until what you saw when they seduced you is bits and pieces of all of the people they gathered together, combined into a whole. And again, as I mentioned in most of my videos recently, I apologize for all of the noise. Got furniture dragging, doors slamming, horns beeping. It's all happening. The gang stalkers are going wild because they've got all of this energy here. It's happening right here. I'm a hot commodity. Well, at least that's how they see me. And it's the same thing with narcissists. You know, it's all illusions, and they idealize people. And they idealize you so much, they put you up on this pedestal because they see you, and it's like they see it as though you can attract attention, validation, admiration, and it stirs up some toxic chemical cocktail within them. It's what drives them to where it's like they have to have it. And yet they're nothing like you. Everything that you see, it's all an act. There's no passion or enthusiasm behind it. All of the passion that they seem to have, it's for attention, validation, not giving or serving to anyone. It's just all about themselves. And that's how they come in, they give you nothing, they take everything, and they leave you with nothing. That's how that happens. That's how they steal from you. And yeah, this is why, you know, you've got to be very careful with people who maybe particularly successful. And they run these pyramid schemes where they make you believe that you're going to get something out of it, and you invest all of your time, your money, your resources. You give it everything that you've got and you get nothing at the end of it. And another thing is particularly attractive people, especially females, who are seductive. And even if you're the one who manages to be with them, you've just got to think about all of the men that they have manipulated, exploited, sold a dream to, seduced, but then never followed it up with action. And so they've robbed those men's energy, and that's how some of them appear so masculine. And, this is exactly what narcissistic people do. They steal from you. It's never an equal exchange with them. They sell you a dream, a lie, just to get you to invest your energy, your emotions, your passion and enthusiasm towards their false image, but you never get anything back in return. And so at the very beginning, of course, they already knew that you were the real deal. They knew that you had something genuine, and that was why they wanted it. That's why they targeted you. That's why they wanted to secure you as a source of supply, because they knew that your energy was authentic. And they wouldn't care too much about it if it wasn't genuine. But here's the funny thing, what many of you don't understand, because you look around at other people who they keep near them, such as family members, friends, whoever it may be, and you wonder why they all get better treatment. Because that's just it. The person who is authentic, the person who invests all of the energy, everything that they're looking for, they get the worst treatment. You get all of the abuse. Because they just want to use and extract. It's just all about themselves. They can't have any consideration for you. And of course, there's many different ways that they use you. But what often becomes the most powerful way, especially after your supply has lost its potency, is actually when they withdraw the good treatment from you. That's how they steal from you. Is by making you believe that something's going to happen, something's going to get better, and then they just pull the rug out from underneath you. And not only that, they give it to someone else and they make you watch it. That's how they steal your authentic energy. That's how they steal the parts of you. And that's how you will know when a narcissist realized that you were the real deal all along, because you will see the new supply copying you. You will see them copying your words, your style, your energy, because that's what they're sharing with each other. They've extracted it out of you, and then they're sharing it with each other, passing it back and forth. Your vibe, your energy, your DNA, your residue. And they're becoming it and seeing it as though now that's them. This is what they do. Because again, they target you out of envy because they're very insecure. Their false self is built on a house of cards that has no real foundational structure. And they saw you, and then they recognize in themselves that something was missing. Something made their false self incomplete. Something that you possessed. And that's what triggered them. That's what made them seduce you into becoming their new source of supply. That's what does it. It's not because it's anything good. It's always because they want to rob you. And this happens to so many people who thought they were going to get something in a relationship. And this is it, even when they get it. It's not just that you're being conned at the beginning, but you actually get involved and you think you're getting something. You're caught up in the fantasy, the delusion. And that's just it, sometimes when you have 100% conviction in something, that could actually be when you are the most delusional. And yet you don't realize it until you come out of the fog. But yeah, this is how it goes. 70 live viewers, give it a thumbs up if this has been helpful for you so far. But we're just getting into it. Yeah, when they realize that you were the real deal all along. Some of them, yes, they'll go off the new supply. They'll try and turn the new supply into you. And they may even want you to see it because they've left you doubting yourself, thinking that you're not you anymore. And now you're looking at this other person as though they're you. This is how they get you. And, it's a typical thing that envious people do. Because essentially, they want to possess your qualities. They want to be you. But some narcissists will actually have the nerve to come back. They will have the nerve to hoover you. They will suddenly check in or reconnect out of nowhere. And it's because, they've had this realization, this epiphany, that all of that time they were taking you for granted. But they'll try and push that down and make it about how, you should have been better for them. They're typically not going to blame themselves unless they've just got a few narcissistic traits. Then they may see it as though they should have appreciated you more. Or they may see it as though they just have to adjust their game. They have to give you more love bombing. That's what you need. That's what you're missing. Because you're very needy. You're very sensitive. You're very insecure. That's how they might see it or portray it. But yeah, not all narcissists will hoover you, even if they do realize that you're the real deal. And instead, what they will do is try and suppress it, deny it, act like that isn't the truth. They will utilize their defense mechanisms so that they can remain in denial. And they will even say to the new supply, they will play the victim to them and act like you are a problem or you weren't good enough for them. And yeah, they'll just act like they're so glad, they're so happy. Now this problem is gone. So they rewrite the past and they make it out like you were the problem. And that won't calm them down. That will actually make them even more rageful. The rage will intensify. But again, it's not because you've hurt them. It's because you've moved on. It's because they've lost that control over you. And then from that point on, it becomes all about trying to one-up your success. It's their one-up inferiority complex. This is why they become so jealous, competitive, sabotaging, because they feel inferior to you. Because you've triggered something in them. You've unknowingly stirred up these emotions in them to where now they feel jealous, insecure, paranoid. And now they feel this need to prove something to you, to demonstrate of how they're better. And yeah, that's how you know that they're insecure. That's how you know that they just want to become you. That's how you know that they're bothered about something. Because why else would they suddenly become so competitive? Why else would they suddenly try to one-up you? What drives that is their sense of inferiority, of not being good enough. And they will always feel that way. You made such an impact on their lives that they will always compare themselves to you. And this is why you have to be very careful as the victim, because, you know, we've talked about it before, narcissistic projection. And, you know, as Professor Sam Vaknin calls it, the entraining. So whatever they're going through, whatever wavelength they're on, they're going to try and pull you onto it. They will try and make you insecure. They project it onto you because they want to pull you into that game. They want to get you to participate in it. And you've got to remember as well, you know, they lack self-awareness. They're not looking at themselves when they do the things that they do. If they did, they wouldn't be able to do it. It requires a lack of self-awareness, of disconnection from themselves. And so they're not thinking about themselves and how insecure they are. But when they can get you to do it, when they can make you feel insecure, when they can invalidate you and get you on this hamster wheel where you're running endlessly trying to please them, then they do like to sit back and watch, and it makes them feel superior. But they will never see your side when they're doing it, of how that means that you're in control. You've got to remember, you know, narcissists, they are delusional. But yeah, these narcissists will do all sorts of things. They will try and mimic you in every sort of way. They will try to appear healed or spiritual, as though they finally grown, they finally changed. And it's all just an act. I mean, you got to think about it, you know, if they finally can become the person who you needed them to be all along, they're not going to be thinking just to come to you and prove it to you and have to make such a big deal out of it. If anything, it's going to be more quiet instead of it being such a big display. And, you know, just the way that it's such a big display, it's really just a demonstration of their own insecurity, their own sense of insignificance. Because true significance, true worth is actually more quiet. It doesn't have to be so loud. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy, some of the things that they do. And, you know, I've talked about this before. I did a video, one of my earliest videos. I can't remember the exact title of it. I mean, I've done about 5,000 videos now, but I think it was something like, the narcissist wants to be you. But anyway, you know, they will copy you in all sorts of ways. It's never going to be like they realize you're the real deal. They realize how wonderful and amazing you are. And, you know, now it's time to applaud you. Now it's time to give you credit. Now it's time to congratulate you and appreciate you. It's never going to be like that with them. Because they're so insecure and they targeted you out of envy. Because from the very beginning, they had a desire to become you. And again, I apologize for all of the noise in the background. I am trying to talk over it. But yeah, it's all because they had a desire to become you at the beginning. And this is how you know when someone is envious, jealous, insecure, inferior. When they hate themselves and they'd rather be you. When they just can't do it, they can't find it within themselves to appreciate you, who you are, your worth, your hard work. They just can't do it. And instead, what do they want to do? They just want to steal, sabotage you. Got the helicopters doing laps again. Gang stalking by air. But guess what? It doesn't intimidate me. But yeah, they're never going to appreciate you like that. And, I get it. It's what many of you may want. And it's not like with them. I mean, with them, it's just cheap, shallow validation. That's what they're looking for. Like seducing people and feeling like they're something when really they're not. With you, you've actually done the work. You've been dedicated. And for you, it's about love. It's about connection. Love is appreciation. If you love someone, you should appreciate them. You should compliment them. You should encourage them. You should tell them they look beautiful or handsome when they make an effort for you. That is a part of connection. But with a narcissist, it's about doing nothing and yet wanting to be seen as something. That's what it's about with them. It's all fake. But with you, you actually put in the work to be something. To be something for them. And yet they invalidate you. But this is it, the person who does the most for them, who puts in the most effort, that's the one they treat with contempt. Because yeah, they're taken from you. Yeah, they're extracting everything from you. But they do not want to acknowledge it in you. They hate you, they despise you. Because they want to be you. So they can't acknowledge you, they can't validate you. Because that's who they want to be. And this is always a red flag, whenever you see someone who's following a trend or who's making references, who's pretending to be something, and they got it from somewhere else, which isn't always bad because, there is such a thing as modeling. But when they can't give that person credit, when they can't congratulate them, when they can't even say that this person is an inspiration to them or anything, and instead it's just all them and they take credit for everything. Whenever you see something like that, it's because that person is envious. They're fake, they're insecure, and they're thieves. They steal. That's what that means. And this is why they're so contemptuous. This is why they'll just look down on you and treat you like you're nothing. Because they're thinking in their minds, that's me now. That's not you anymore. But the worst punishment for them is to enable them. And I always say that. You don't need to get revenge. Let them become the very thing that got you involved with them in the first place. The very thing that got you trapped. Because of course, what do you think is going to happen to them now? Now it's their turn. It's their turn to face their karma. Because that's all that's going to happen. Honestly, it's very rare that a narcissist will ever find someone like us who genuinely appreciated what we thought we saw in them, genuinely validated them. The way they're going, most people are just going to end up hating them. They're just going to despise them. Because that's just what a lot of people are like. They're not looking at your work, your dedication, your passion. They're just thinking you got something and they don't. So it's not going to make them like you. And it's the same thing with a narcissist. Just because you're the real deal, that doesn't change anything. That doesn't make anything better. If anything, that is the problem. Is that you are real. And this is it, when they always, they had you running on that hamster wheel trying to please them. They set all of these extreme, unrealistic expectations that you could never fulfill. And maybe some of you did fulfill them. They constantly move the goalposts, and then they got to a point where they could not move the goalposts anymore. And for those of you who did climb to the top of the mountain, what happened? Then you begin to realize there was never a problem in you. They never really had an issue with you. And now the real problem is that you have achieved these unrealistic expectations. That's what the problem is, because they have to project it outwards. There has to be a problem outside of them to distract them from the inner feelings of inadequacy and emptiness inside. And that's what it's really about. And that's why they will never truly acknowledge or validate you in that way. They cannot connect to you. They cannot be truly intimate. Because for them to do that, they would have to connect to themselves. And that is the last thing they're ever going to do. They feel inadequate. They feel unworthy. They'd rather just attach and extract from you. That's all that they want to do. And so that's all that you're going to get. And that's all that anyone is ever going to get from them. No matter what you see, it's all an illusion. And this is why they all do the same thing. When you see them go off the new supply, it's the same thing every time. They make it seem like they found this new person, they're so happy now. They're so connected, they're so close, they're so in love. Yeah, that's how they want you to feel. And do you know why they want you to feel that way? Because that's exactly how you unknowingly made them feel all of that time. By you pushing and pressuring them for a connection, for intimacy. And they just couldn't do it. They couldn't go within. Because of course you've got to connect to yourself first before you can connect to anyone. And they couldn't do it. So that's why they go off and do that. Because in their minds, that's revenge. That's punishment for you. After in their minds what you put them through. Because that's how they see it. But yeah, you will see all sorts of things. They will be talking like you. I mean, literally, like copying your words and mannerisms, the way that you speak. Acting like that's theirs now. They've got ownership, possession over it. They've got the rights. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, the things that they come up with. They literally want to possess you like the devil. They're that insecure. They will become a shadow of who you are. And often a shadow of who you were. A shadow of who you used to be. Months or even years before. They will still be going with that. Things you used to do years ago. Things you used to wear years ago. The car you used to drive years ago. They'll still be on that. And it does get to that point. And honestly, you know, if you haven't heard from them for a while, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they could have like a picture of you or something. And, or maybe, you know, they have like your Facebook or Instagram. They could have a screenshot of it from years ago. And they're probably just trying to copy everything, some of them. And some of them will actually be doing this. They'll be looking at your hairstyle, the clothes that you're wearing, the car that you're driving. And this could be months, years later. And they're still trying to live up to that. They're still trying to get it just right. And you know, they're probably walking around like dressing similar to you, trying to, maybe they were working for years, saved up, bought a similar car that you had years ago, and then they're driving around with a similar hairstyle, acting like they're you. I can't make this stuff up. I know this may sound pretty crazy, but this is actually what they do. And they think about this stuff for years. They really do. They are completely delusional. And they see no point in doing anything with themselves. It's all just about comparing to other people, scrolling through their social media feed, taking bits and pieces of whatever they think is desirable, whatever they think will get them validation. And that's just it, you know, they're just constantly getting people to filter their experience through them so that they can live vicariously through those people. They're always looking at themselves in third person. They're never actually just living their lives. They're always trying to manipulate, provoke people to get them to focus on them. And so their entire life just passes them by and they never even live. Because that's what living is when you live in first person and you actually live your own life instead of trying to bait reactions, get people to notice you, to see you a very specific way so that you can feel a certain way about yourself. That's not life. That's a trauma response. And it's something that they have never resolved. And yeah, this is it. This is what happens when they realize that you are the real deal. Now, they always knew that you were. And they tried to destroy that in you because they wanted to be that. And for many of you, I mean, this is how you know that they're out there somewhere, still trying to live up to you, still trying to replicate what you did, how you performed, the person that you were before they got involved with you. This is how you know that they're still trying to do that. When you just look at your own circumstances, your own surroundings right now. Because are you being you? Are you doing the things that you used to do? Or what has happened? Have they devalued you, insulted you, targeted your self-esteem? Made it so that you don't feel like you want to do anything anymore? Have they discredited you, smeared you, isolated you, got you fired from your job, targeted your finances, everything? So that you just can't even be you anymore? Because if they have done that to you, that's a pretty good sign that they're out there somewhere with your style, your energy, your words, your mannerisms, and they're pretending to be you. Because think about it like this. If they're not out there trying to replicate you, trying to be you, then why are you not you? Why can't you be you right now? Why are you going through all of these things? Why have they piled all of these problems, inconveniences, duties, responsibilities onto you? What is the purpose in that? Why are they so bothered about you being you? And of course, it's because it's something that they envy. It's something that they're trying to become. And those of you who are new, those of you who are just learning about narcissism, you may not even believe it. You may not ever think that this could be true. You must be thinking, you know, I'm the expert, so okay, maybe some narcissists, but not mine. And I was thinking this way too. And actually, when I put out that video, when I first started, one of my first videos, I think it was The Narcissist Wants to Be You, I wasn't so sure about it myself. And I didn't realize the impact that this was going to have, you know, to the thousands of people now, tens of thousands of views. And, you know, I didn't think that what I was saying was 100% true at that time. I had an idea that, you know, of course, it's going to be true for some narcissists, but not all. And now at this point in 7.5 years of research, I would say it is all. If it's not all, 99% of them. And Professor Sam Vaknin, he mentioned this in his videos. And remember, you know, Sam Vaknin, he is a psychologist and a a university lecturer, and he also coined the term narcissistic abuse. So if anyone knows what they're talking about when it comes to this, it is him. And he said it himself, narcissists want to become you. This is why they target you. This is why they keep you as a source. It's why they trauma bond you. It's why they control you, devalue you, sabotage you, destroy you. It's why they do all of it. And many of the creators have said the same thing. Another one I remember is Kevin from the Royal We. He's been doing YouTube videos even before me. And he's talked about it too. They want to be you. And it's really that simple. And you could really just condense it down to that one sentence. If you want to describe a narcissist that you're with, and if you're trying to explain to someone, you can just say, they want to be me. And they want to be me so much to the point where I can't even be me. They won't even let me be me. And that's how they know that's how you know that they envy you. Is when you can't even be you. That's who they're trying to be. And that's just it, it should never be that way. You should be you, they should be them. And men should be men, women should be women. And that's just how it should be. But this is it. And we're seeing this a lot in society today. I'm sure many of you have noticed it. It's like men want to be more like women, women want to be more like men. And, we're seeing a lot of homosexuality, transgenderism. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it appears to be the result of that. And this is why, and I've done coaching with people in the homosexual community, and they've dealt with narcissists. So there's narcissists in the LGBTQ community. And this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to become someone else. $102 live viewers, give it a thumbs up if it's been good for you so far. And also another thing, it's not like you're just some random person where they just happen to pick you. No, it's very strategic, calculated. You had something that they were missing. They picked you out of a very large group of people. And you got to think, narcissists, they're always on social media, dating apps. They're always at the bars, everywhere. So it should give you an idea of how many people they picked you out of. We could be talking thousands of people who they could have picked, and they chose you. Because there's something about you. There's something that they want in you. It's in you. And that's what you got to tell yourself, that's what you got to remind yourself. Is that the value is in you. When they try to get you to doubt yourself, to make you insecure, it exists within you. And it's what they want. And I don't know too much about it. I don't know if it's genetics or it's something that's been learned, conditioning in childhood, but it's something. There's something very pleasant about you, something very attractive. You have a light, you have an aura, you have an energy. It's positive, optimistic. It would have had to have been, because otherwise they wouldn't have wanted anything to do with you. You kept them going. Your positive energy, your optimism is fuel. It validated the false character. You believed in them. You saw them as something ideal. And you kept it going. And I don't know what that is, you know. I don't know if it's something genetic, if it's something spiritual. But you had that something. And yeah, that's what they feed off, is your passion. Because they haven't got any of their own. They're depressed. But you operate at a very high vibration. The frequency of love, acceptance, and that's why, you know, you're a threat to them. Love is a threat to them. There is no love with them. But yeah, Layla also watches Sam Vaknin and Kevin at the Royal We. Yeah, they have been two of my favorites. I mean, you know, I've watched at this point, I don't even know, over the 7.5 years, I've watched hours of content every day from doctors, professionals, life coaches. It's got to be tens of thousands of hours at this point of my time that I have invested into studying this. And from the best, from some of the best experts, psychologists around the world. And, you know, that's how I know it as well as I do. And, you know, I've learned so much from so many people, but also I implement my own experiences as well. Yeah, as for the trauma bonding, they're really just pulling you into the delusion, the fantasy world where they reside. And this is why, you know, I early on in my work, I never really did a video on trauma bonding, although I have now. But what I did do is two really great playlists. One is the Narcissist Fantasy World, and the other one is the Narcissist Fake Worlds and Alternate Realities. And those two playlists are really brilliant. Some of my best work, even though I did those at the beginning. And it really exposes, the fantasy, the alternate reality that they are living in, and that they pull you into, where you end up so drained and confused. So I've explored all of that already in 2 of my playlists. And, I highly recommend that you all watch all of those videos in those 2 playlists. The Narcissist Fantasy World and the Narcissist Fake World and Alternate Realities. Because it's still relevant today. And it always will be, they'll always have the fantasy. And this is why, they need so much validation, attention. It's why they provoke, why they're so provocative. They're always trying to pull you into something. It's because they do not live in reality, and it's actually a very miserable experience for them. They make it look like they're so happy, they're having such a great time. They're miserable. They are depressed in that world. There's nothing good, nothing fun about it. It's merely a tool that they use to kind of mirror what they think are their desires, so that they can pull you into it, get you attached, and extract from you. So that's all that it is. And it's actually a very miserable experience for them. It's only good when they can pull people into it. But even then, they don't get any fulfillment from the world itself or these activities. It does nothing. It's all about the supply. And it's always in third person. It's always living vicariously through other people's perceptions of them. They're never in first person, immersed in an activity and actually enjoying it themselves. And I would say that that's one of the main things that made them target you, is that you do live in the first person. You are immersed. And I don't know, some people would say that that's like an autistic trait, you like kind of tune out the world, and you're in your own little world, just immersed in something. I think, that's kind of what they want. I think they wish they could experience that, and they envy it. The way that you are just tuned in. Notice how they always mock you for that? They ridicule you for the way that you're tuned into certain frequencies. Like when you're reading a book or you're watching a movie, wherever it may be. I remember life coach Michelle Neves, she mentioned that she had to hide her book like it was her lover. This is how it is. And remember, a person having mild autistic traits, to some degree, can be relatively healthy. It's a completely different thing to autistic personality disorder. It's a very different thing, such as with someone having mild narcissistic traits. That could be considered somewhat healthy to some extent, such as having boundaries, separation, compared with someone having narcissistic personality disorder. So something to keep in mind. And, it's what they don't have. It's that immersion, that tuning. And it seems like that's what they envied in you. Notice how they always try to replicate it. They try to replicate the very thing that they cannot experience for themselves. And they try to destroy it in you. This is why, they try to screw up your mind and get you to ruminate, overanalyze, make you depressed, so that you can't be how you were before. That you could enjoy things, you could enjoy certain activities. But yeah, just to summarize this, I can't really summarize all of this so quickly, but essentially, They knew you were the real deal all along. That's why they targeted you. That's why they secured you, controlled you, and eventually tried to destroy you. And that's just it, you know. They wanted to be you. And they may still be out there somewhere thinking that they are you. So that's it. Give it a thumbs up if it was good for you. Let's work together to get it out there. And make a note of it. Check out the playlist, the Narcissist Fantasy World, if you go to my playlist on my channel. And also the Narcissist Fake Worlds and Alternate Realities. 2 brilliant playlists. Definitely check out those videos. I put a lot of work into them. And it was based on my research, my expertise, and my personal analysis of my experiences. So very helpful information there. And it will definitely increase your understanding, raise your consciousness, your awareness of these things, these operations. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live again. And if you would like personal one-on-one guidance and support, you can book a one-on-one with me by going to narcsurvivor.co.uk. The links are in the live chat there. And your donations are greatly appreciated. You can donate through my PayPal. It is paypal.me/narcsurvivor. Follow me on Instagram. It's Narc Survivor YouTube. And also got the new Facebook group. It's called Narc Survivor. New videos on there every day. And I just posted a new quiz a few hours ago. So give it a go. And you can also find the answer in the comment section on the Facebook group. All right. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate the support. And I look forward to speaking with you in another live video very soon.